What if I told you there's a place with twice as many pyramids as Egypt, hidden deep in the African desert? A place that once ruled the entire Nile Valley. This is the story of the Kingdom of Kush, an ancient superpower of black pharaohs that challenged the might of Egypt and won. Today on Dokudiscovery, we journey beyond the borders of Giza to uncover the rise and fall of the Nile's most mysterious empire. Let's dive in. The Nile Valley is one of the most iconic settings in human history. It was there, more than 5,000 years ago, that one of the most astonishing civilizations the planet has ever known emerged: ancient Egypt. The Egyptians were entirely dependent on the Nile. Every year, the river's flooding, driven by the melting snow in the Ethiopian mountains, would deposit a layer of fertile silt onto the fields, transforming the arid desert into arable land. The Nile was revered as the god Hapi, and its annual flood cycle prompted widespread celebrations. The most important cities of the era, Thebes, Memphis, and Luxor, grew along its banks, and the pharaohs built temples, tombs, and pyramids that still stand today as silent witnesses to their splendor. However, Egypt was not the only civilization that blossomed because of the Nile. Further south, in modern-day Sudan, the Kingdom of Kush rose, featuring centers like Napata and Meroe, which were famous for their own pyramids and a culture that, while influenced by Egypt, was uniquely their own. This kingdom was so powerful in its time that it even managed to conquer Egypt. The Kingdom of Kush emerged around 2000 BC. For centuries, Kush was both an enemy and an ally of Egypt. But in the 8th century BC, a historical shift occurred. The Kushites conquered Egypt. King Pi, the founder of Egypt's 25th dynasty and known as the first black pharaoh, established a line of Kushite rulers who dominated Egypt for nearly a century. These kings were known for their deep religiosity, their monumental architecture, and for restoring ancient Egyptian traditions. The kingdom's most important cities were Kerma, Napata, and later Meroe. The latter became a vibrant center of commerce, iron production, and culture. Meroe housed dozens of pyramids that were smaller and more pointed than the Egyptian ones, but equally imposing. The Kingdom of Kush declined around the 4th century AD, weakened by trade pressures and conflicts with the Christian Kingdom of Aksum. However, its legacy was rediscovered by archaeologists in the 19th century, and since then it has sparked growing interest for its unique contribution to the history of Africa and the ancient world. The history of the Nile is immense, and it doesn't only concern Egypt and Nubia. Its banks were teeming with life, home to smaller communities, each with its own history. Long before the pharaohs and kings, more ancient, humble cultures made their presence known. These were the first people to take up farming, hunting, and fishing. They learned to live with the river, adapting to its rhythms and gifts. Their skills, in pottery, toolmaking, and irrigation, formed the foundation for the civilizations that came after them. They held the river's secrets, which they passed down through the generations. The Nile was a corridor for humanity. It wasn't just water flowing, but ideas, technologies, and beliefs moving along its course. Cultures blended, traditions merged, and an ancient world full of life was born. Let's travel back in time. Imagine you are sailing down the Nile in a wooden felucca. Just ahead is Thebes, which is today known as Luxor, the former capital of Egypt. Our first stop is the Temple of Karnak, which stands as the largest religious structure ever built. Wander through its 134 massive columns, every surface etched with hieroglyphs recounting the tales of gods and pharaohs. You feel small and overwhelmed by their sheer size and power. At sunset, visit the Temple of Luxor. It is especially elegant when lit up at night. Statues of Ramses II guard the entrance, and the avenue of sphinxes once connected it to Karnak. Imagine ancient processions, with music and incense filling the air. On the opposite side of the river lies the Valley of the Kings, a sprawling necropolis where hidden tombs are hewn into the desert cliffs. This is where Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered, brimming with gold and untold treasures. You can truly feel the mystery and respect here. These sites still echo with a sense of grandeur and the promise of eternal life. The banks of the Nile hold unforgettable stories. Let's fast forward to the present day. The Nile is still very much alive and remains vital to millions of people. In Egypt, Sudan, and beyond, it continues to sustain life. Farming continues to thrive on its shores. Crops like cotton, sugarcane, dates, and various vegetables thrive here. These green fields extend away from the river, creating an oasis in the surrounding desert. Without the Nile, this region would be a parched desert. Now, let's visit its modern cities. The Nile cuts through both ancient territories and vibrant, modern cities. Cairo, the capital of Egypt, is a megacity where ancient wonders meet modern life. The pyramids of Giza sit on the city's edge, while the river cleaves Cairo in two. Bridges, high-rise buildings, luxury hotels, and houseboats line the banks. Felucca boats sail along, and the riverside cafes are bustling with activity. Continuing south, you reach Aswan, a more relaxed city characterized by its distinct Nubian culture. The city embraces the river's bends, featuring islands like Elephantine. Aswan's colors are brighter, the air is cleaner, and the smiles are wider. The deep blue Nile contrasts with the golden desert hills. The Aga Khan's mausoleum overlooks the river, and botanical gardens flourish on Kitchener's Island. The Feluccas glide silently, their white sails sharp against the sky. Aswan is truly a picturesque city, offering a serene atmosphere where you can relax and feel the Nile's ancient magic. Both cities vividly showcase the river's lasting impact. The Nile is like a magnet. It draws people from all over the world, history buffs, adventurers, and romantics alike. It is a dream destination that offers unique and unforgettable experiences. Floating down the river in a comfortable cruise ship or a traditional dahabeah. Waking up to incredible views, and visiting ancient temples like Luxor, Edfu, and Kam Ombo, each stop is a new discovery. For a truly personal experience, opt for a Felucca ride. These motorless boats rely solely on the wind and the skill of Nubian sailors. The journey is peaceful, keeping you close to the water with only the birds and soft lapping of waves for background music. Sailing at sunset is pure bliss, a true connection to the past. The Nile is more than a river, it's a story that never ends. It connects the distant past, the vibrant present, and the unknown future. The river has witnessed countless changes, but it remains a powerful symbol. Its legacy is eternal, and its magic is undeniable. Pharaohs, explorers, poets, and artists have all felt its pull. The river reminds us that we are all human and that we depend on nature. In a world that is always changing, the Nile teaches us to endure and to continue. If you ever have the chance, go and see the Nile. Feel its presence, listen to its whispers, and allow its wisdom to touch you. It is an experience that stays with you forever. The Nile is far more than a location on a map. It's an immersive journey into the heart of history, the very soul of Africa, and perhaps a path to self-discovery.